All right, you guys. Well, we are gonna dive right into our team call. If you can think of someone in your team, upline, downline, crossline, that you want to make sure they get on, just send them a quick text right now and be like, hey, don't forget the team call, and give them a little nudge that we are on and we are live, because this is like one of the calls that I feel like, or topics everybody asks about, and like, what do I say to this? What do I say to that? And I really want to be able to help you guys through that. And so if there's anybody that you're just like, oh, they should definitely get on, give them a little ping, give them a little nudge. And we're going to dive into it. I've got just a couple little like housekeeping items and things I want to share with you. And if you guys can just double check that your lines are muted, that would be awesome. I'm trying to mute you guys. There was a couple, I think. So just so you guys know, the vanilla plant-based chai, dairy-free vanilla chai plant-based shake is back, if you guys didn't know that. And on Thursday this week is our seasonal. So you guys are seeing that Isagenix is kind of like chipping away at it, like teasing. So of the 5 that were up, now Mocha's gone. Another one will go tomorrow. And it's coming out Thursday. So I'm bringing that up, not because you need to know what the shake flavor is yet, but I want you guys to start like proactively building towards it. So like this morning on the Work It call, one of the things we did was reach out to people who have maybe not said yes to Isagenix, but you've talked to them, and just saying, hey, I know that you didn't want to do our summer shape up, or I know, like, you know, earlier this year you weren't interested in doing Isagenix yet, but they're dropping a seasonal shake flavor, and I'm taking some pre-orders because I think it'll sell out quick. If it happens to be one of these flavors, are there any that you'd like? Right? And like, you can start to like build your list right now. So if they're like, okay, I don't want tangerine and I don't want banana, but if it's mocha, call me, or whatever, you know? So I want you guys to just kind of be proactive about that. And it's a great way to go to your current customers, especially inactive customers, and just say to them like, hey, I know you haven't ordered in a while, but there's a great seasonal shake, and I'm just letting people know in case you turned off your notifications or aren't getting emails anymore. I didn't want you to miss out on it. Like, spend some time, even if you only message a handful of people a day, you can be really, really proactive and it will come to fruition. So I want you guys to just be strategic with your time with that. The business calls, you guys, I'm saying this, Isagenix does such a good job as a company of providing amazing training for us, but don't feel like you have to get on every one of those. So I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, there's so many calls. Like, it's incredible that we can learn from Lindsay Hoffburn, and we can learn from Laura Stevens and Emily Vavra, but you don't have to get on those. The call that I care about the most is this one, because it's very indicative to what's happening on this team in addition to everything else. But if you want to go to isagenixbusiness.com, go to training, look at the calls, and listen to other podcasts, even if you can't get on them live, they're all recorded while you're showering, while you're getting ready, like whatever that looks like. You don't have to be on every one. So when you're blocking off your calendar, if there's one that's like, oh my gosh, Susan Sly and Kathy Coover are throwing down, I am not missing that one. Okay, cool. But all the others, like, they're going to be recorded, and I just don't want you to feel like you're sucking at this because you're not on every call live. Like, I don't get on all of them, right? I just post them so you guys know that they're available to you. And if something draws to you, like, ooh, I need social media, or ooh, I want to see the opportunity call, but I'm just giving you that permission to don't feel like you have to kind of do all of that. But just know that they are available. And then the ISA Rally teams are getting announced on Wednesday in the Facebook group. So stay tuned for that. And the last little things that I wanted to say before I really get into tonight's team call, some of the things that we talked about last week about like this being a skills-based business, like, I just am going to keep saying that and keep saying that because we put so much pressure on ourselves, especially at the beginning. And we just got off a call, the people doing the Dash to Executive with Hillary Courtney, and she said that Jimmy Smith told her in the beginning that she wasn't allowed to have an opinion if this was going to work or not until she'd had 100 meetings. Right? And like, I have people after like 3 meetings that are like, yeah, no, this sucks. This is never going to work for me, you know? And just to be realistic with yourself, like with any other job, with any other profession, the amount of time you would go to school, the length of an internship, like how many trial runs or days on a job you would do before you felt good and equipped. And network marketing has the ability to set your families free. I mean, it has the ability to pay you unlike anything else and provide personal growth and everything else. But we often just quit on ourselves because we overestimate what can happen in the beginning and really underestimate the long-term potential of that. So I just really want to encourage you guys and remind you guys, when you're looking at this business, right, and you're like getting frustrated at times, or it's not going as easy as maybe you thought it was going to be or whatever, that it takes time and an alignment with this being a skills-based business, right? And alignment with every day you're getting better and every day, you know, you're learning a new skill set and growing, how important personal development is. I mean, it is the greatest compliment when people like Laura or my sister can tell me like how different I was than when I started this business. You know, I mean, I think about when people try to give me feedback, he still probably laugh right now, but like I would get so defensive, right? Because I was so protected and I was working so hard and like I really listened. Like, I don't know if that's going to go so well, or even the way I roll out challenges, like we're so inclusive and so encompassing. And that's the personal development. I mean, I listen to something every single day. I mean, like Ryan always laughs because I'll be playing it in the shower and he's like, oh, that's that Eric Worre guy, or he likes Jay Shetty and he likes, you know, some of the same ones I listen to. He loves Simon Sinek. And other times I'll go, who is that? Send that one to me. Like he wants to listen to it, but that's ingrained in me. But that's going to change how you handle the rejection. That's going to change the way you build relationships, the way you care about people, the way you time manage, the things you focus on, the way you deal with social media and all of our political uproars right now. I mean, in so many areas of your life, that it's just super, super important to like really work on yourself and understanding that's at the forefront of this business. Like the minute you stop growing, your business will stop growing. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Okay. So no matter how much time we drill into you, how to connect, how to post, how to overcome objections, it is critical that you're doing the personal development. Okay. And so the last little bit that I just wanted to touch on, and I don't want to harp on this, but because I am always going to be transparent, and I know Laura's going to do a Facebook Live on this. About a month ago, there was an article and the FTC went out basically slapping some network marketing companies like on the wrist of like, stop making claims, you're not compliant, and like warning them. So the second round that went out, Isagenix is on the list. So don't worry. But people have seen it. People are like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? It means nothing. Like, you don't have to worry. Your commissions is not getting turned off. Isagenix is not closing, okay? The FTC is doing their job, which is like the Federal Trade Commission is their job to regulate the industry. It's actually a really good thing, okay? We have great standings with them, great recognition. Justin Powell, our chief legal officer, has a great relationships with them, does a great job educating us what we need to be doing. So I'm just going to bring up a few things so that you have it on the forefront of your mind. And for the most part, it's happening with social media, right? Like, even though we always say like, we don't treat, we don't diagnose, what you say to your neighbor is not really probably being recorded. And this is about social media. So number one, make sure that any post that has anything to do with income has nothing to do with the pandemic, COVID, coronavirus in it. Okay, those are like the number one flags. Don't do it. Has nothing to do with that. Okay. The other two things is whether you're talking about the health or you're talking about the wealth opportunity, the disclaimers need to be there. And if anyone wants to go in the chat right now and like type in the income disclaimer or the product disclaimer, and you guys can just Google these, they're on isagenixbusiness.com. But no matter what, you always put it up there. So if you have a post, like I want to do my top income earners, right? Like I'm going to do, you guys saw on our business page, but if I do it publicly and I'm celebrating the top 12 income earners, if I say something along the lines of like, it's incredible, like during, this pandemic to see all these women rank advancing and, they've all doubled their income because they've been, staying at home. Like, you guys can see how that's a red flag. It's not even worth it on there. But when I write the story of like, it's so amazing to see these incredible success stories and equal opportunity. They all have a variety of backgrounds. They're earning a range of an extra $20,000 to $180,000 a year. Can we celebrate them? And then I put the disclaimer on there, right? There's nothing wrong with that. So we don't want you to feel you can't be bold about the opportunity or you can't be bold about the products. But if I put Kathy Rowland's, before and after picture up there and she's lost 50 pounds, or I put Chris's up there and he's lost 70 pounds, like 75 pounds, like we can't put it in a way that everybody's going to get the same results, right? Like we can't make it feel like, oh, if someone does a shake for breakfast, everyone's going to lose a pound a day, right? Like Chris has an extraordinary story. So I can say that like he had incredible results, as a result of doing this, and we're celebrating him. But the disclaimer says like, everybody's different. Everybody is different. People have underlying health conditions. And that's the whole thing, is just protecting the company. So we don't want you to stop posting, okay, about the business or about the products. Just protect us. So if you're curious about where those disclaimers are, you can't find them, reach out to us. If you're second guessing a post, send it to me or Kisa or Laura or Rachel or Jenny or someone, and just say, is this okay? Can I put this up? And I'll tell you, no, that's not compliant. People send us stuff all the time. I'm like, nope, you're talking about cholesterol. Take that down, right? Nope, don't talk about your heart disease, right? Like, I mean, there's things that are going to red flag us. So I'm going to move on from this. If you see it, because I had like 4 people send it to me yesterday, like, oh my God, I'm like, Isogenics is not getting shut down, right? It was like already addressed from the founders and from our legal department to the leaders, and it ripples down into all the teams. But we do want to do our job of making sure we protect the company and we protect the industry by doing it the right way. Does that make sense? You guys can just kind of give me a little like, okay, awesome. So that being said, we're going to dive right into the objections. And I only have 5 big ones that I was planning on covering tonight. If I don't cover them, type in the chat and I will either, if we have some time, get through them. I'll be like, oh, that's a good one. I can tell you in 30 seconds or less. Or when I post this call, when I post the recording, I'll type out some verbiage or things like that if there's other objections than the ones that I'm expecting, which are the most popular. Does that sound fair? Okay, cool. And I can't believe I didn't do this before. My brain is like a little frazzled today. But anyways, I wanted to celebrate some people who are absolutely crushing it. So Laura is she's dancing. She didn't know she was the first person I was going to celebrate, but our top enroller, 12 enrollments in May. That's amazing. I mean, that's like 3 to 4 people a week. Like, that's absolutely incredible. Kelly, she had 7 enrollments in a week and she just hit the 5-cycle bonus for the very first time, which is awesome. I know that there's a couple people right now running for 1-star, running for 2-star this week, and I just love it when people like declare that goal and go for it. So I'm sorry I didn't do that in the beginning. I'm like harping on compliance and really just want to celebrate all of you guys. And thanks for doing your leadership in action form and that accountability. It's really fun to run together. So here's the objections. In no particular order, we're going to talk about price. We're going to talk about MLM, right? I don't want to be part of an MLM company. Auto ship, like how to address this conversation of auto ship. I only do Whole Foods, right? I don't need shakes, and I can't sell anything. I don't want to sell anything. I hate to be a salesperson. So those are the 5 that I have kind of mapped out. And like I said, if you're right now going, oh, I was really hoping she was going to talk about this one, just put it in the chat and I'll see it and I'll see if I can address it afterwards. So who has had the it's expensive? Oh, I don't think I can afford it. I don't want to pay for it or whatnot. Here's the first thing. The number one reason that that's happening is because they're looking at price and they're not seeing value. And so I'm going to reiterate, this is a skill. Usually in the very beginning, like Alex posts a picture. She puts up Chris's before and after picture, right? And Liz looks at it and is like, oh my gosh, he looks amazing. My husband needs this. How much is it, right? And Alex sends a flyer and says it's $3.99. Like, all she knows is the premium pack. That's what she did. And Liz was like, oh my gosh, I'm not spending $400 on shakes. Like, forget about it, right? We'll just drink celery juice every day. Like, that's what happens. And they both see it as an additional cost. They see the $400 on top of their other groceries or their other supplements or whatever else. So of course they're going to have sticker shock. Like, we all probably did. I did too. But what we need to do is be able to reverse engineer that we create value, that people see this as an investment into their health and also a reallocation of what they're already doing. So I'm going to put the same situation together, right? Alex shares Chris's transformation. It's amazing. Liz is like, hey, I need this for my husband. Like, what are you doing? And Alex says, I am so glad you reached out. You're going to love it. It's going to change your husband's life. Like, right now, she's got passion. She's got enthusiasm. She's super excited. And she's like, when can we chat? I want to explain the program, answer your specific questions, and customize something for his goals and his budget. So this person has trust, okay? They're going, oh my gosh, she's just not giving me something generic. She actually cares. She wants to get to know me. She wants to be able to help. And this is super important, you guys, because people don't know what they don't know. And we don't know what we don't know. So at the same time, what they're looking at the cost, right? And they're thinking, oh my gosh, it's $400 for shakes. If we're thinking, oh my gosh, this is a bartender, she's been furloughed, there's no way she's gonna be able to afford this, like I should just tell her the basic pack, or I need to just sell her a shake and cleanse pack because that's gonna max out her bank account. That person might already have been budgeting money for greens and money for vitamins and money for probiotics, right? They're already doing that, and we can educate them on the value pack and how when they're bundled together, not only is it easier, but will save them money. So it's super important that you either text about it if that's your jam or get on the phone to really figure out what they're interested in before you ever say a price. So then at that point, there's a series of questions that don't have to be asked in any particular order, right? And they all will get you to the same outcome. And this is why it's so important, I think, to do three-way calls with different leaders and kind of learn different styles. But being able to ask questions like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is your health? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to release weight? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to have your energy back? For you to wake up and not need 8 cups of coffee to get to work, right? To be able to sleep through the night and not be restless all throughout the night. Like whatever they said they wanted to work on, like how important is it to not have joint pain? Like ask them, give them a number, like have them tell you, because if they're like a 2, they're not going to be compliant. They're not ready. When that person's like a 10, like none of my pants fit. I lay down on the bed to try and zip them up every single day and it's uncomfortable and I can't wait to come home and take off my pants at the end of the day, right? Like when they're telling you those types of things, they're not looking at the cost, because we are going to be able to change their life. We have a solution that helps people, but we have to figure out what it is they're looking for. So then we start to ask questions about what they're doing. I asked something along the lines of like, walk me through a typical day. What do you do for breakfast? What do you do for lunch right now? Are you snacking? Do you eat out? Do you take any vitamins or supplements? So the person who tells you like, I don't eat breakfast, I don't really eat lunch, I drink coffee all day long for free in the break room, and I have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when I get home for dinner. Well, that's a totally different situation, right? Than someone who says, well, I go to Starbucks every morning and I buy a latte and egg bites. Lunch, we usually get takeout from sushi, or we go to, Chipotle, and sometimes I snack in the break room. Sometimes I bring stuff. Dinner, we always have wine. Like you start to see what they're spending. You see what their life is looking like. And it's so important because we can see what they're doing and we can see their goals. We can see their habits, right? So you're getting them to kind of paint the picture. I ask people, I know it's tricky. A lot of us look at our monthly budget, even our weekly budget, but like, how much do you think you spend a day on food? What do you think that number is? Most people will pause because they've never really thought about it. And they're like going through and they're calculating those things they just said to you. The average answer is $20 a day. That's what most people say. They're like, I don't know, maybe 20 bucks. People that are eating out a lot, like truck drivers, I'm not kidding you, that are going through convenience stores, they're spending $25, $30 a day on Slim Jims and Snickers and energy drinks. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, it's sad where that money is going. And some people will say, I don't know, maybe $10 a day. I make a lot of my food at home. We never eat out. So you can see where they're at. Because then when you're getting to do it and you're presenting this, it is a reallocation. So another question to ask is, on your initial 30 days, you're going to do 2 meal replacement shakes a day. What 2 meals do you see yourself having a shake? Asking, what do you spend on that meal right now? So people will say breakfast and lunch. What do you spend on breakfast right now? I don't know, maybe 10 bucks at Starbucks. I mean, that is so typical, you guys. It's so typical. So we can say things like, well, our shakes are less than $3 a meal. I actually think I'm going to save you money when we reallocate your current grocery and dining out budget and invest it into the system that's going to make you sleep like a baby. Repeat back to their goal was. When we invest in a system that's going to give you the energy you want, when you can invest in a system that's going to make you release that weight and slip into your skinny jeans, like whatever that kind of looks like. And I want you guys to understand that I rarely get the cost objection, because I will either present something that's meeting their needs, okay, or they've seen the value. When someone tells you they're a 10 out of 10 of weight loss, and I can say, Sherry, how are you going to feel when you can go into your closet and put anything on, right? Like there's things you probably haven't worn in years. Like, how are you going to feel? She's like, oh my gosh, it'll be like, I feel like Cinderella and I have all this stuff and whatever. I'm like, when was the last time you felt that way? She's like, oh, at least 10 years ago. How would you feel? And she's like, I'd feel confident. I'd feel sexy. I would feel, all these different things. I'm like, so if I had a system for you that has money back guaranteed results, right? We do. 100% money back guarantee, right? If I had a system for you with 100% money back guarantee, there's literally no risk that I know, because I've seen it time and time again, is going to get you to those goals. We're going to drop those unwanted pounds and get your energy back. Would you be open to hearing my recommendations? Would you be open to learning about what I have seen work the best? People are so fired up to learn more, okay? So then, you know, however you want to do this, I often lead with the value pack. Now, if someone tells me like, I hate pills, I'm never taking vitamins, I'm not going to talk about it. They've already told me they hate supplements, they're never taking pills, okay? If someone tells you that they snack a lot, and part of the reason that shake programs haven't worked for them is they get too hungry, I'm thinking they need the premium pack, they need the value pack, they need the snacking options that are included. Like, you have to ask those questions to understand. But I typically lead with the value pack and say something like, you know, there's a couple systems that I recommend. We often break these down like the good, the better, the best. The same way if you went and bought a car, you can have fully stocked or standard, right? Do you want power windows or not? Do you want automatic, you know, seats or not? Like, I'm going to go through the different options. You get to decide. I will support you. And, you know, when I lead with that, and I'll say things like, this is the pack that has the highest retention. It has the highest success rate. This is why I'm setting you up this way. People are hearing success rate, they're hearing retention, they're hearing that this is going to work for them, that they are excited about it. And especially when you have reallocated their budget into it. You know, someone's spending $25 a day, do that times 30 days. That's way more than the value pack. And we can be able to explain that to them. People go, oh my gosh, I'm really going to save money. If anybody right now has saved money since they have been on Isogenics, type in the chat. Like, I want new people to see this. Like, I myself gave up a $6.80 drink a day at Starbucks. My like vanilla almond milk latte with extra shots. Like, it's crazy. I was spending a few $100s a month just at Starbucks, let alone everything else. So if you've done it, I want you to do that, because there's new people on this call. And it's important because we really are not giving people things in addition to. It's food. And that's what's so great about our business model, is it's consumable and it's nourishing, and everybody eats food, okay? So I'm going to move on from this a little bit, because I'm not teaching you how to sell the value pack tonight. We have a lot of trainings on that, and I can do that at another time. But I want you to just know that if you're getting the cost objection, it's because they're seeing price, they're not seeing value. And the skill to work on and do more three-way calls and more ATMs until you master it is asking the questions to get to the pain point. You're peeling back the layers of the onion for them to tell you why they need this, right? And us be able to really, truly be able to provide that solution. Now, of course, there are people on fixed budgets. There are some people, their grocery budget is really low. And if they are maxed out at $200 a month, right, you're never going to sell a value pack. And that's not our goal. We do want to meet people where they're at. So a different option then is, it might be a shake and cleanse pack. It might be an everyday health pack. It might be a smaller system, and teaching them how they can always add additional products on, and we want to respect the cash flow. It's also an opportunity to teach you share, they share. Hey, you know, I get that cash flow can be tight sometimes. You know, one of the things I'm committed to is getting you on the Eat for Free program. The standard of our team is to not have to pay for the products. You know, would you rather get started on a maintenance pack today, or let me help you find 2 people this week and join with the 30-day system you ultimately want? I'm committed to helping you find some accountability partners and you're not feeling the financial burden. Would that be helpful for you? You're locking arms, you're pouring into these people, okay? But I want you guys to take away from this one, if they're seeing the price, they're seeing the cost, they're not seeing the value. So really go back and do your due diligence to get to know them, let them tell you their goals, their needs, their wants, their spending habits, so that you can make a suggestion that aligns with them. Number 2, MLM, right? Oh, I don't buy anything from MLMs. Oh, it's an MLM company. No, I'm not interested, right? Who's had it? Who's got it? Thank you, I'm not interested. I don't want anything to do with an MLM. 99% of this objection comes from 2 things in people's minds, right? Why they get it. They either know nothing about the industry, except all the rumors they've heard. They have 0 experience with it. They'd never have known anyone in it. They'd never bought a product, never used a product, right? And they just have an idea in their head about how terrible this is, or they had a bad experience, right? They either got locked into auto ship for 6 months that they couldn't cancel because someone was sneaky about it, right? They used products that were discontinued because the company closed. Like, something has happened that there is that reservation. So I don't want you guys to shut down. Like, if I reach out to Marla and I'm like, hey girl, I've been thinking about you. Like, I see that you've had this amazing weight loss journey and you're super into health and wellness. Our team is doing this challenge in a couple weeks, and I just thought she would be so fun with this. You bring such good energy. You're already, you know, using nutritional products. I would love for you to take a look at this. And she's like, oh yeah, that sounds great. I'm into this. I want to help, blah, 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 right? What is it? And she says, oh no, sorry, that's an MLM. I don't want any part of it. I don't do anything with MLMs. Most people are like, oh, okay, she just shot me down, next, right? Most people will do that. But what I want to encourage you to do is ask questions. And I would say something like, hey, I really appreciate you sharing that. And there's no pressure. If it's not for you, no biggie. Not one thing is for everybody. But I love to learn. Could you share with me? Could you explain to me what it is about MLMs that you're not interested in? Like, did you have a bad experience, or why would you say that? Because if she can say something like, oh, well, I used to use Advocare and now I can't get it anymore because the company changed, you can talk about that. You can talk through different situations, right? If she's like, oh, well, I just think that they're all like poor products, and, you know, everyone's just making money off of people, and I'd rather, you know, buy something from XYZ. I could say, you know what, I used to feel the same way. There's a sales technique, feel, felt, found, where you relate, right? And then you kind of share what you found. So I could say, I used to feel the exact same way. You know, I was really skeptical. I didn't know anything about it. And I said, but one of the things that I found out was that we have science-backed, peer-reviewed research. I mean, it's cutting-edge products and the data doesn't lie. If I could show you an article that's objective, that might be able to educate you on the quality of our products, would you be open to learning a little bit more? If she's like, nope, I just don't do MLMs, okay, fine, right? You're not gonna like force people to do it, but often they'll go, oh, yeah, I'll look at it. I had no idea. So I want you guys to understand that just because someone says no right away doesn't mean it's a halt. There's a fear, right? There's something that's happening. There's the objection, and this is the skill, is how to overcome those objections. There's actually a new girl on our call tonight that I've recently enrolled, and she was excited and then wrote me like, hey, I've had a change of heart. And I was like, okay, right? I mean, like literally what I'm telling you guys, this is exactly what I do. And I said, no problem. And I was like, but I'd love to chat with you and just kind of figure out why, like what happened, because it helps me learn. And I was trying to figure out, was it something I sent? What did she read? Like, I really did want to know. And so when we were able to chat, and it was like, well, the marketing's kind of bad, and it looks like Slimgenics, and that's not really like my jam, and these quick diets. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I was like, I mean, I literally like I heard the feedback, and I was like, well, I apparently need to work on my social media, right? But I was like, that's not how the company is at all. And I could talk about like all the wellness stuff, all the kids products, like all the sports performance. And I was like, so if I'm using like outdated before and after pictures, thank you. But like, it was so incorrectly branded that was giving someone the wrong opinion. But had I just walked away, she wouldn't be on here right now, right? Like crushing her first cleanse day and sharing with other people. So I want you guys to just know that like, just because things come up, the conversation doesn't have to stop. It's really just an opportunity to have a conversation. And I mean, much like if I always give examples that have nothing to do with isogenics, you guys can see how unweird this is. But if someone invited me to dinner, right? Let's say someone invited me to go have like Ethiopian food, and I somehow am associated with a different type of cuisine. I'm like, oh, I don't really think that's like my jam. Like, I don't really want to go. I don't like spicy food and whatever. Like, I don't want to cook my meat at the table. Like, let's just say I said something like that, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, Lauren, it's not like that at all. It's all like fresh vegetables. It's actually really spicy and all this like, you know, fresh meat. Like, it's actually aligns with the way you talk about eating. I think you like it. They're like, oh, that's not what I thought at all. Like, we tell ourselves stories, and then someone educates you and you become open. Isogenics is the same way. So when someone is saying something to you like, oh, hey, like I don't do anything from a network marketing company, ask why. Find out what their experience was, and then just be able to say, are you open to learning? If I could show you XYZ or blah, 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 you're going to see a lot of people kind of take their guard down and come around. So the third one is auto ship. Who's ever had that? I don't want to be on auto ship. Don't put me on auto ship. Am I getting signed up for auto ship? Okay. So again, I'll ask and I'll say, well, I'm going to teach you about our lifestyle rewards because it's a little bit different, but I'm just curious, why did you say that to me before I even brought it up? Or like, why do you have like that strong of an opinion towards it? Like, I just need to know. People will tell you stories how they bought skincare. They thought they were getting a month's trial and their credit card was charged 6 months in a row and they couldn't get out of it. They will tell you shampoo stories like that, right? Like, you will hear stories and it's like, oh gosh, I would not want auto ship either. And it's an opportunity to educate. And I will say things like, you know, I understand why you have reservations right now, and I'm so sorry you had that experience, but our lifestyle rewards is actually quite different. I would like to be able to explain to you how you can get an additional 5% off your orders as a result of this. And being able to talk to people about how they are not committed to a monthly minimum, They have full autonomy to change it, to edit it, to push it out, you know, to talk to people about why there's benefits and also no risk. Most people are like, okay, cool. But for you guys, the reason that when you get someone set up, you always want them as a preferred customer on auto ship, always. Because if it's a pack that has a PIB to it, a qualifying pack, they don't double if you have 2 or more if they're not on auto ship. So if you sign up, Laura and Chris, just as customers not on auto ship, both with value packs, you're getting that $100 base PIB referral bonus for both of them. If they're on auto ship, the $100 will double. That's, I mean, a $300, $200 difference, right? You get $400 then, because the $100 doubles for both. If they're not on auto ship, you're not going to get that double PIB, right? Because Isagenix wants us to have retention. So you always want to make sure you're getting people on preferred customer with lifestyle rewards, but be willing to talk to them about it. Okay, be willing to explain that to them. So like I will tell them, hey, I'm signing you up for lifestyle rewards right now because this maximizes the discount. I'm going to be able to walk you through how to log into your own account, how to shop whatever you want, whenever you want. There's no minimum. We have plenty of time to address this. I just don't want you to be alarmed if you get an email or see something like there's any type of trickery. Just to be able to have that type of communication, people feel very comfortable, right? You're building trust. The last thing you want to do is not talk about it. A pack come to someone the following month because they didn't know and they weren't expecting it. It's like, oh my gosh, I was just charged, and like, why is Isagenix sending me something, and like not doing your job coaching them and talking to them about how to adjust it, how to push it out, how to edit it, and all of those things. So it's not a bad thing. It just takes 5 minutes to have a conversation. Number 4, I only eat whole foods. Ugh, I'm not drinking shakes. I hate shakes. I don't drink shakes. I don't ever want to drink a shake. Who's had it? I got it like 4 times today. I'm so tired of protein shakes, right? So here's the thing. When it comes to our foundation and understanding what makes Isagenix different, there are 3 major problems in our environment and in our food supply that affect every single person on the planet. And this is important to learn, you guys. It's in our videos, but if you want to be a professional network marketer with Isagenix, you have to learn this, okay? Our food is bankrupt. It does not deliver all of the nutrition you need. It is like virtually impossible to have optimal health from food alone today. The second is we live in a very polluted, over-toxic environment. And the third is the amount of stress we have. We are like in this go, 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 fight or flight environment. So no matter how clean you want to eat, how healthy you want to eat, how organic, how many, you know, celery juice drinks, kale smoothies you want to have, it does not address that our food is bankrupt, food is pre-ripened, it's loaded with herbicides, pesticides, it doesn't have the minerals and trace minerals. Like, you have to supplement somewhere. So when you can educate someone and say like, okay, that's fine if you don't want to do shakes, but like, how do you get your vitamin D? How do you get your omegas? How are you getting magnesium in your diet today? How are, like, asking questions, they're going to see again that there's a need. I'm like, do you eat 8 to 10 servings of vegetables a day? I don't. I eat a lot of vegetables. I grow my own vegetables, but like, I don't know the last time I ate 8 or 10 servings. So they have to see the value of like what they're doing is not enough. Okay. I'm not going to go into all those others, but that bankrupt food, right? And like why you need the shakes. But when you know that and you can talk about it, then you can overcome that. Because if you see a bowl of spinach and kale and cucumbers and radishes as the same as a shake, right? You're like, okay, if you just want to eat all that and prep all that and buy all that and clean all that, cool, you're getting it. But when you see it like I see it, like that's still not enough. Like I had run blood work on thousands of people when I was in practice. Like it's not enough. I'm like, okay, I'm not saying don't eat whole foods, but like we have to figure out how to supplement your diet for optimal health. Now, if it's really a texture thing and people are like, I don't care, they make me gag, I can't do it, it's a thick thing, it's a thin thing. Okay, we have a lot of options, you guys. We have bars, we have vitamins, we have the greens. Like you can still get creative and get people on it. I don't want you to cookie cutter people into a pack of like, okay, if they don't do shakes, they can't do Isagenix. Now, it is a foundational product, and we do things like our 4 pillars, shakes, cleanse, ionics, right? Like how important that is. However, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. And then just say, okay, are you open to doing bars twice a day? Are you open to taking our greens and our vitamins? Like I still am trying to put the right nutrition in so that you can properly detox. I have to flood your cells first with nutrition. And I'm trying to keep this as simple that you don't have to have my background, but you are in a wellness company, right? Like if you were selling windows, you would have to have a background. If you were selling paint, you would have to have some type of knowledge on your product. So starting to understand isogenics, that when you are sharing with people and being able to overcome that objection, you have to understand why we are distinguished, like what it is that we're doing and why people need it. And then again, that feel, felt, found technique is really valuable, especially if it's genuine. So for me, you guys, I was that person. Like I have been doing so many nasty protein shakes. Like when I used to compete, I hate them. They never filled me up. They always were loaded with artificial stuff, poor quality. Like this was me. Like I was like, y'all, I want to like run with this business and I want to be a millionaire in the company, but like no freaking way am I drinking shakes for the rest of my life. Like, I mean, that was 1000% me. And I love our shakes. Like I crave them. Like legit, if I go a day without, I cannot wait to get it back in my body. Like it literally ignites me and they taste so good and they're so creamy. And I tell people that and they can feel it. You guys all like, oh, she really does like her shakes. Like people can feel how much I like them. So I talked to them about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to do the like plug and chug thing and it was like watered down and I would gag and I couldn't wait for it to be over. I'm like, I make mine so thick, I can eat it with a spoon. I should show you a picture of the like ice cream smoothie I just made for Ryan the other night. And like, are you serious? I'm like, yes. And you can have birthday cake and chocolate mint and peach mango and raspberry cheesecake. And they're like, what? You know, and they don't see they're doing like plain vanilla and chocolate for the rest of their life. But again, this is you having the confidence that you believe in this so much and you want it for other people that you're willing to keep the conversation going. So if someone's like, yeah, thanks, I just don't drink shakes. I'm over it. I don't ever drink shakes. And you're like, okay, then they can't do isogenics. You're missing out on people. But I'm just encouraging you to say, hey, I used to feel the same way. Or you know what, you remind me of my friend Paula. And she used to say that she hated shakes and now she loves them. I almost want to introduce you guys so you can hear her story. Like there's a perfect segue there to an ATM. And I can be like, Paula, I'm talking to this girl, Jenny, right now, who's amazing. She really wants to do this, but she says she hates shakes. And I just remember how you used to like, you know, tell me you thought you were going to gag and how you were never going to do them. And now you post the best recipes on our team pages. Can you tell her what you think is different about our shakes than other shakes? Like that third party validation is huge. Like sharing our testimonials, it builds belief. It shows the culture. So when that comes up, don't make that feel like the conversation stops. Just figure out what you have to do to keep it going, to be able to educate people. And the last thing about this is it's 100% money back guarantee. So if they really do hate them, they can send them back. And I'll tell them it is more economical to buy things bundled and return things individually than buy things a la carte. So let's get you set up on one of the systems that we know work, that has the proven research, you know, and data behind it. And if you absolutely hate these and you can't gag them and get them down, then we will send them back. All of your money will come back to you. You have no risk to try it. But just what if these were like the Baskin Robbins shakes and not the Slim Fast shakes, and you're actually really excited about them, right? I mean, just be able to have this conversation with people about why Whole Foods is not enough, how our shakes are really good, share stories, and then always assure them they can send it back. I mean, I had a return last week. One of the first ones I've had in a while. Laura was actually coaching the girl with me. We were doing everything, but she's like perimenopausal. She's got thyroid issues. Like, I mean, there was just a point I was like, send it back. It's not isogenics. I mean, I know it's not isogenics, but I wasn't going to convince her to keep doing things that wasn't working. She was gaining weight. She wasn't losing. It wasn't for her. That's okay. Not one thing is for everybody. And I want you guys to be detached from that, because there's like 11,000 whatever people on this team that say it is for them. The handful of people that doesn't work for, it's okay, right? Like I'm going to focus on Chris's story and Rachel's story and Sherry's story and Amber's story and not get hung up on the people that tell me they get diarrhea from our shakes. Okay, next, right? It's not for you. I love peanut butter. I buy it. I don't buy it because I will eat the whole thing. Peanut butter kills people, right? Like how can I want to eat it by the jar and it kills other people? It's okay if they don't agree with the product. Not one thing is for everybody, but be able to have that conversation and explain to them along the way. So the last one I wanted to talk about, and this is specific to like when you're sharing the opportunity, not the products, when they're like, oh, thanks, but like, I'm not a salesperson. I can't sell anything. I would suck at this. There's no way I could ever do it. Like who's had that? You're like, oh, you'd be really good at this. And they're like, I hate to sell. I don't want to sell anything. Okay. That was me too. I was like, oh, I don't want to make money off my friends and family. Like, I don't want to be the person that stops getting invited to things because I think I'm always going to be like pushing isogenics. Like, you have to remember where you came from, especially some of you that are getting a little bit more seasoned, right? And you've been doing this for a while. Be able to relate to them. You know what? I used to feel the exact same way. But what I found, like that verbiage is so good, you guys. I want you to master that. That's why I keep using it. But I'll say, but what I found is I actually really enjoy sharing things I love with the people I care about. In the same way, I would introduce an amazing restaurant to a friend of mine who came to visit, or I have referred so many people to my hairdresser, or I've referred so many people to my chiropractor. This nutrition has impacted my life so much, I felt guilty not sharing it. It's like I had an obligation to pay this forward. And if the company wants to reward me, awesome, but I was going to do it anyways. That's how incredible this was. Like, take the sales piece away from it and be able to explain the power people have to make a difference in someone else's life. Be able to educate with them how we are always referring things we love to the people we care about. Like, literally yesterday, and this is the stuff I wish I could like record and then just like put up so you guys can see how we do this all the time. My friend Emily was over and we both were talking about how we hate wearing foundation in the summer, right? Like, it's like you need something, but it's like you're sweaty and this and that, and like it's just a gross feeling. I don't mind it in the winter, but when I'm hot, I don't want to wear foundation. So we were on this hunt for like a tinted moisturizer. So she came over yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to try this. And I'm like whipping out my Burt's Bees. Like, I found this like organic tinted moisturizer at Sprouts. And she's like, oh my God, I ordered this. And we're in the kitchen. Ryan's laughing, putting this tinted moisturizer on our hands, like testing it, both like super excited to share it. Now, she went and bought the Burt's Bees one that I had. Burt's Bees is not sending me a free one next month. They're not giving me a chapstick. They're not giving me a coupon, right? That's not their business model. They do advertising, they have marketing, it's in retail. That's how I got suckered into it, because I walked by the end cap at the store and I was like, ooh, what's that, right? Like, ooh, I should definitely have that. That's their business model. Isagenix has a different business model. We don't have retail. We don't have employees. We don't have marketing. They have us, and we share stories. So when I have a friend come over, right, and they stay at my house or whatever, and in the morning we do shakes and we do ionics. I'm like, do you want one? Like, I love these. And, you know, people are hungover. I'm like, here, you have the swamp juice. Or when I go to the gym and I give them an e-shot or whatever that may be, it's because I'm as excited about that as I was the tinted moisturizer. But when people understand our business model is different, the company pays us instead of retail employees, they're like, oh, I can do that too. When people say, I can't sell, I can never do this, they think they have to pick up the phone and like cold call people all day long. You know, like, that's not how we do this. Like, that wouldn't be fun, and none of us want to do that. We're not going to ever teach you like how to pick up the phone and call 100 people with a script. That's not what Isagenix is about. We don't have to do that. So those were the main ones that I wanted to cover tonight. And Laura and Chris and all these people are like typing in the chat, and I just realized mine was hidden. So I haven't seen any questions. I'm just scrolling up and I see a lot of just like validation of things that you're doing. If there were any questions or any other objections you wanted me to hit, will you guys just unmute and say, what about this one? Otherwise, I'm trying to just like, Susan, yes, for IsaBody, still do the disclaimer, always. If you're talking about a transformation, just always do it. Just always protect the company. I just saw that one, no matter what it is. So if any other objections, any other popular ones, any other like, hey, I really want you to talk about this one. I'm going back to the bottom of the chat now. I just want to make sure I got them. Okay, well then that being said, here's the last thing that I'll share with you. This is one call, right? And you can, oh, okay, Laura, I'll do that one. You can listen to this again. I don't expect you to get everything in one call. If you go into Dreamers in Action on our Facebook page, in the search bar, if you type in objections, you will find recorded calls from Tracy O'Malley, from Susan Sly, from Lynn Hagedorn, from Laura Stevens, like amazing leaders. And they're gonna say similar things to me, because that's probably who I've learned from, and totally different things. And so if you're like, yeah, that objection for shakes, I'm never gonna remember all that. Like Jimmy Smith will say things like, what's harder, like not fitting into your pants or like eating some Scooby snacks and having a shake? You should probably have a shake, you're unhealthy. You know, like he's just like so direct. And it can be that simple. Like really, like the Taco Bell is not serving you, but you're more worried about the ingredients in the shake. Like find what works for you. This idea for me is like, how do you keep the conversation going? Like how do you educate people? How do you show your passion? But go in there, listen to them. Also, if you ever Google, this is not in Dreamers in Action, just what's available, Eric Worre, who's the author of GoPro. If you go Eric Worre objections, there are so many amazing YouTubes out there and podcasts where he's either interviewing leaders or he's training on how to overcome objections. He has a PDF with scripts, like literally, so you have it. So if you get choked up and when you're talking to someone that you can like divert back to something. So I encourage you guys to print that off, like read it, like keep digging into this. So just like if you were going to be a personal trainer, you wouldn't watch one seminar and then be like, oh, okay, I'm a personal trainer, I know how to do everything, right? Like you're constantly learning, you're constantly growing, you're constantly improving. This is the same. So this is the tip of it. But for some of you that are new, listen to this call again, listen to other ones, and plug your team into things like this. If you have new people right now that you're trying to get to consultant, they're trying to find their 2 people, ask them, what's happening when you're reaching out to people? Right? Because if you get them excited and like, oh yeah, I'm going to find my 2 people, and they go crickets on you, more often than not, it's not because they didn't share. They ended up getting an objection and went, oh, I suck at this, I should never do it. And so they stop instead of working with them and being like, oh my gosh, I used to get that all the time. Let me help you. Let me tell you what I say now. I used to get that one all the time too. Let me tell you what I learned. That I think this might be able to help you as you share. So as you guys are learning this, who are 2 people in your team right now that you can teach? Who are 2 people that you can pay this forward to and like really help them kind of learn the skills that I saw that, Jan, you're so cute. So the last one here, Laura typed in sugar. You're like, what about the sugar? I just put a post in all of our pages recently about showing like how much sugar is in a spinach, how much sugar is in an apple, how much, like what that breaks down to, because people see like 9 grams and think they're having a Frappuccino. Number one, most of the people that are worried about this are taking in an obscene amount of sugar and they don't even realize it. Whether it's from ketchup, it's from barbecue sauce, it's from fruit, it's from everything. Like sugar's in everything, and being able to explain why. And we tell people it's a whole food product, you know, like the sugar is the catalyst to get the protein into the body. Like they work together. And how we don't encourage necessarily adding a lot of fruit, right? Because the shakes are set up just how they are, but they're meal replacements. They're not just protein, like they're full balance. And being able, again, to teach people. So when they say that, like, oh gosh, there's just way too much sugar in that, like I won't do that. Don't let that shut you down. Say, oh, I totally understand what you're talking about, but just out of curiosity, what product are you looking at, or what are you referring to? Because I actually don't think our products have that much sugar in them. And if they say, well, your shake has 8 grams, I'm like, oh, that's like 1/3 of an apple. Like, you know, like this is why it's in there. And again, being able to redirect them. So if you don't have the background, don't let that stop you down. You can go to isagenixhealth.net, type in sugar. The company has podcasts and article after article educating us why the sugar is in there, why we chose that type of sugar, why it's important, why people don't need to worry about it, you know? And so I just want you guys to feel equipped to be able to get the information. So if Kelly's super excited and she's reaching out to someone and she's brand new and gets the sugar objection and she doesn't even know that Isagenix Health is out there, that she can get that information, I would say reach out to someone else in the team and be like, hey, someone just told me our products have a lot of sugar in them. I'd love to help her get better information. What can I do? What can I send her? I mean, this is where we all work together, and we're going to guide you and lock arms with you and help you figure that out as you're talking with people. But ultimately, whenever there's an objection, there's a fear associated with that, right? Or there's an opportunity for us to educate and be able to answer questions. So we just have to dig a little bit deeper so we can get the information that they need to feel comfortable to get started. So go in, do some follow-up, you know, homework or whatever, and listen to calls. But most of all, here's what I'll tell you. If you're not getting objections, you're not talking to enough people. And if you really want to grow this people, getting objections is just part of the business, and you just get better at handling them and rolling with it. So happy Monday, you guys. Please block off your calendar for celebration. It's on Friday night and Saturday morning of the 17th and 18th. Is that right, Rachel? I'm like, I know she knows the number. So 17th and 18th, it's Friday afternoon and night, and then like basically all day Saturday. I don't have the specific hours, Susan, but I'm just telling people that it's going to be a general session. It's all virtual. This is our major flagship event, but we can't go this year. Friday afternoon and evening, and then basically all day Saturday. So block it off. Get team parties together, have people over, do whatever you need to do to make it fun. But save the date for that. You guys don't want to miss it. The lineup's amazing. So thank you guys for being on here. Bye, Kingston. Bye, PJ. Bye, you guys. I love you lots, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for hopping on.